Aloha, all of my paranormal people. Welcome back to another episode of Insane Disappearances. I'm gonna make your host, as always. Got another story for you here. This one is about Timothy John Barnes. That's Timothy John Barnes. He went missing around July 5th, 1988, in near Murphy Creek Trail in Yosemite. I'm sorry. I always call it that for some reason. Yosemite National Park in California. He was at the age of 24 when he disappeared. He was around 6'4" and 180 pounds. He was like, what, 9 pounds less than the last guy I talked about. Okay, Timothy Barnes loved the outdoors. His 6'4" frame gave him an excellent stature to view the beauty of Yosemite, where he was hiking on July 5th, 1988. Timothy started his hike from an area near Highway 120 east of Tioga Road at approximately 9 a.m. He had told his friends that he would hike up to Polydome Lakes via the Murphy Creek Trail. He left the area near the highway and was never seen again. Friends called law enforcement the next morning, but a massive search by several SAR crews found no evidence of Timothy Barnes. This area where Timothy started his hike is at an elevation of 8,200 feet, and Polydome Lakes is at 8,775 feet. It is only 1 air mile from the highway to the lakes where Timothy was heading. The area has massive open granite with sparse coverage of large trees. The Murphy Creek Trail runs through a small valley which contains the creek and is bordered on two sides by huge exposed granite walls. Now that was a pretty short case as far as the facts and the evidence or what happened to him. So basically, all they were really saying was how he, made a hike into one area and seemingly just vanished without a trace. Now, here's the part that always gets me. Okay, you love to hike, you love the outdoors. That's all well and good. But when you have friends who you talk to and say that you're gonna make a hike alone, that's the worst thing you could ever do. Now, the crazy part about it is people who disappear in these national parks and in these forests, they never think that they were gonna be the ones that's gonna disappear, and that's the worst part, because most of the time you would think that these people would actually, that these people would actually do some digging on the national parks, just to see has anyone ever died, on a mountain or whatever the case may be. Now, see, somebody like me, I would have made sure that I did my homework on these places, and made sure that when I hiked up there, there was no, stories about people disappearing. Because I would never go in a place where people be disappearing at, because that next person might be me. And as you realize, if you have read some of David Paulides' stories or cases, I don't know why I keep calling them stories. These people who tend to go off on their own are the main ones that disappear. They never disappear in a group, because they look for this being or whatever, or energy or person from another dimension. Look for these types of people, the ones that are by themselves where there's no one around. That way it makes it easy for them to snatch them up and do whatever it is they do to them. And like I said before in my last blog, how to me it seems like when they're finished with them, they just toss them to the side. But before they do that, they zap them of their energy and absorb it into their body or their being, or they just, somehow use their mind to kill them, because when they're dead, they don't have no signs of struggle. They don't have no fingerprints on their body, no nothing. So somehow they mentally kill them. And just like like I said before, the Henry McCabe case, where he was moaning in pain and groaning, but when they found his body, there was no sign of torture or anything. So obviously, whatever these creatures or beings are able to do, they can cause internal pain with their mind somehow, some way. I don't know. It must be on a level that we're not on. And I'm thinking that where they come from, the dimension where they come from, fantasy and science fiction is reality in on their world. So whatever we can't do here, they can do there, and they bring that here. That's why when people hear of other people disappearing, they can't wrap their brain around how they turned up dead or how they just seem to vanish, because in their mind that's impossible. No one can just vanish into thin air. That's not logical. And see, it's like I said before, you have to somehow step away from logical thinking and logical sense and logical reasons. Okay, there's no logical reason for anyone to just vanish without a trace. So when these types of cases arise, a person, even if it's just one person, has to be able to step away from all that, step away from the facts, even though the facts lead you to that point. But you step away from the facts, and then you start looking at other reasons why. Okay, now in a case like this, you look at the paranormal and you look at the mystery part of it. How could something like that happen? And you start thinking about dimensional beings or creatures that have these type of abilities. No one has enough balls to even ask these type of questions, because they'll probably get laughed at in the first place, because you may believe it, but the other person may not, especially the police department or the RCMP or even the National Park Service. And see, that's another thing. I said something before about how they always never give up the information when someone asks for it, with the Freedom of Information Act. I said before about a guy that called into Coast to Coast AM. What they did, I think it was a Friday. It was like free questions where you just ask any question you want. I keep forgetting what they call it, but anyway, it was an actual. It wasn't a ranger. It was a Green Beret that called in, and he was telling David Paulides there's a reason. He was telling him the reason why they can never get that case is because a lot of the guys that be on foot, who be involved in those searches, they have when they put their names on that report, their names are classified, and so are the other people. So by it, they having classified names on those reports, no one is able to actually get it. Now, see, my thing is the National Park Service, they know that. That's why they call the Green Berets in, because they know good and well that if they don't want to give up the case, that's a perfect reason why. And that's a perfect way of keeping their reports about these people that disappear in their parks. Calling the Green Berets, and once they put their giant Hancock on that report, that's it. You can't get that report because it's officially classified, the report itself. So, and like I said, the fact that they know that that's a good way for them to keep those reports to themselves is just like ridiculous. You got families that lost their children, that lost their fathers, their mothers, their relatives, whoever, even their really good friends, and you're gonna keep that information from them just because you don't want to be slighted or your reputation will be tainted because of that. I don't care about your reputation. I just want to find my family. And even if you don't, at least if I know what happened to them, that'll put me to some ease. I don't care how outlandish the information may be, or how scary, or how weird. It doesn't matter. My family's gone, and I want to know. That's just my personal opinion, But I know even if I talk like that, I still ain't gonna get it unless I say I'm gonna turn this place upside down. I might kidnap one of the national park people and hold them hostage until they crack. That's how I would be thinking if one of my children were missing and disappeared in a national park. But I'm just, like I said, that's just me. Anyway, that's pretty much it on that. And I gotta get ready. I gotta get ready to head out the door because I gotta go to work. So I will make sure that I keep consistently making videos and reading up on the story so that you guys can hear all the cases dealing with these people, and hopefully one day somebody who listens to my vlogs will tell me that they had an experience, and someone already did, and that's my buddy Kimstar66. You know, we caught up with each other a couple of days ago, and she commented about a case that I read about. You know, so once again, thank you for the comment. I appreciate it. So anybody who has had a personal experience or know someone that has, you know, hit me up with a comment below. You know, and if you like the video, like and subscribe to it. I will be greatly appreciated. But other than that, aloha, mahalo, and ohuiho, which means till we meet again. Be blessed, guys. Peace.